Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is confidence and self-esteem. I wanted to pop in here for a couple minutes. I've been having some downloads from my guides on that, and I think a lot of people, we're always working on that. Like, we can always grow in the area of confidence and self-esteem, because a lot of times we'll get to a level of confidence and self-esteem, and then we got a whole nother slew of self-limiting beliefs that come up that we're working through. So it's a never-ending journey. So who in here is working on their confidence and self-esteem? Let me see some hands or some emojis, so I know how we're feeling in the chat here. And confidence and self-esteem goes over many different things in life. Like, I think sometimes people think like confidence as far as like maybe your looks, but it's also like how you present yourself, not like only physically, but energetically, how you present yourself. It is how you show up in the world. It's having faith that you're going to follow through, or that you trust yourself. Like, there's so many things that confidence is housed over, right? And so, okay, so I'm seeing a lot of I ams, hands up in there, and me too. Like, I'm always working on my confidence and self-esteem as well. Okay, so what do we feel like is blocking us in these areas? Hey, Nicole, my phone was buzzing over here. I got your instant notes. So I'll check those out in a minute. What do we feel like is blocking us here? Is it self-doubt? Is it maybe we haven't seen good examples in our everyday regular experience of people around us? Maybe it's our parents that instilled that within us, or society saying like, oh, you got to do things a certain way or be a certain way to be successful. Self-doubt. Okay. Maybe you're not trusting in your spiritual abilities and spiritual gifts because you come from a religious background. Nothing against religion. Okay. That was me, though. I had to step out of a lot of religious constructual boxes in order to be doing the things that I do now. Maybe it's a fear of being perceived, a fear of like, what are people going to think of me? What are they going to say? What if I make the wrong choice? There's a lot of different things that can make us feel that way. Okay, self-doubt. Other people block us sometimes, I feel. That's a good point, because that's why it's very important to be mindful of who is inside your inner circle, because the top 5 people you hang out with the most greatly have weight over your energy fields. And so we got to make sure we have people that are loving and supporting and encouraging us and lifting us up, that are very close to us, because it can really change your view of yourself, right? And especially because people have their own, like, people will tell you should do this and you shouldn't do this and blah 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 blah, and like they're sometimes at the end of the day they're really trying to, like, in their mind, keep you safe, and it makes it's their own projections and traumatic things that they've been through. And like, a lot of times when people are trying to not consciously but unconsciously instill fear in you, it's because they can't see themselves doing the things that you want to do. Right? And so sometimes we have to give people compassion for where they're at. And like, same, I've been in those places before too, but there's a difference in having people around you that are saying like, I believe you're going to do that no matter what. Like, how are you going to do it? But like, I believe it. So like, it doesn't really matter. But like, there's other people that are like, well, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? And then that's a whole different thing. Okay, fear of abandonment. So fear of abandonment is one that I feel like trips people up, not only with fear of people abandoning you, because when we level up in life and level up in consciousness, right, sometimes not everybody's meant to be on that ride with you. And that's okay. Like, not everybody's always meant to be in your life forever, but that's scary, thinking about, well, what if they're not in resonance with my new reality or my new frequency? But then there's the other fear of abandonment, where you're afraid you're going to abandon yourself. So that has been a huge one in my life, because I had a lot of abandonment things when I was a child that I lived through. And so I became very hyper independent, extremely hyper independent, where nobody could help me with nothing. I would not let anybody help me with anything, because I'm like, you're not going to get me. Okay. Or like, I'm not going to even give you a chance to let me down. Right. But I was letting myself down doing that. But I was afraid that if I I would not start a lot of things in my life, and I'm going to get to the comments here. I would not start a lot of things in my life because I would be like, okay, well, what if I'm successful at it? Because I'm an overachiever and perfectionist in the past. I know I would be successful at it, but what if I'm not continuing to be successful at it? And then I fall on my face. And then that's actually me abandoning myself. Like, I've built these big old walls up and saying, like, I'm never going to be around people or experiences that are going to hurt me, but it's really me not wanting to hurt myself, if that makes sense. Okay, let me building confidence and then putting people us down. Okay, let's see. Never feeling like I am enough. Okay, that's another big one too. Not feeling like we're good enough. Not feeling like we're worthy, right? So that's another thing that I've been, and I was just going to talk through these as they come in case they help anybody. Makes perfect sense, yes. So not feeling like I'm ever enough. So this is something that I have had to work through as well, is sometimes we are putting these goals outside of ourselves, which is great to have goals. Like, we love that. Something to work towards, okay? But if you wait to tell yourself you're successful until you reach that goal, you will never find success, because that is a never-ending cycle that you put yourself in. Like, I used to do that and say, well, I'll be successful when blank or blank or blank. And then I would do it. Like, I would follow through with it. But then when I got the success, I'd be like, okay, whatever. On to the next. I would never take time to celebrate what I've done. And so it was a very empty feeling when I met that goal. And so something that has really helped me through that is to celebrate myself every step of the way and say, I'm already successful because I'm existing. There's so much pressure put on us by like capitalistic society or like our parents, and saying like we have to be like so tangible, goal oriented, and like once you do this then you're successful. The universe, and I know this is esoteric and metaphysical, but the universe is not asking you to do anything. It's literally not asking you to do anything. It's wanting you to enjoy your existence. That's success. You having an experience and enjoying the ride. So a lot of times people get caught up in like, well, what's the right and wrong decision? There is no right and wrong decision. Like, and this is my opinion, use your discernment, right? It's all experience. And when you take that kind of like pressure off of yourself and you say, you know what, I'm successful for being me. I'm successful for being alive. I'm successful for existing. Whatever I choose to do past that, that's wonderful. And I'm going to celebrate myself every day for those choices and decisions that I make along the way and what I choose to like go after. But we can't tie our success up in external things, right? Because it gives you that empty feeling even when you do meet it. You have to be like telling yourself, I'm so proud of myself for taking a shower this morning, and I'm proud of myself for doing 2 things on my to-do list. Like those, that will give you the fuel to keep going. If you push it off and push it off and push it off, you get burnt out very easily. And that's where a lot of people like stop going after their goals and like don't go after their dreams because they run out of fuel. Like, it sounds, especially if you have ADHD, you're like, you know what? I have this bomb ass idea and I'm going to put 1,000% into it. And then 3 weeks later, you're like, okay, well, I don't want to do that anymore. That's because you're pushing off success until you accomplish that thing, instead of looking at, I am already successful. And if I choose to do this, great. And if I choose to put it down, that's okay too, right? That's 2 very different vibrations, very different frequencies from one another. Success is a mindset, and happiness in your relationships is a job. It's a job how I feel now. Yeah, success is mindset. That's a everyday mindset. It has nothing to do with the tangibility of things. And it does in some aspects. I don't want to say like across the board. But like you were saying, success is a mindset. I am successful now in this moment, right? So let's do that. Let's put in the chat, what are you successful today for? There's no big or small. This is not a comparison game. If you brushed your teeth this morning, good for you. You're taking care of your physical body. If you drank water today, even if it's 8 ounces of water, good for you. Hydrating queen. Okay, if you got out of bed this morning, great, forward movement up. So let's share some, and I'll read some of the chats, okay? Because I want everybody to come away from this feeling successful. We get so caught up in like these big things that we're working towards. Like, it's not about the big things. It's about the little things that give you fuel to get to the quote unquote big things, right? Waking up, wonderful. Every day we wake up is a good day because you're awake and you're alive and you're here. I did some dishes and ate breakfast. That makes me feel good. Great. So cleaning your space, making it lovely and nice, nourishing your body, wonderful. Made it to a doctor appointment. Great. Taking care of yourself. That's awesome. We look at these things as like minute things, but they're not. These are huge things. We have to stop making things like such weight to them or diminishing them, right? Good morning, cosmic sister. I meditated before I picked up my phone. Yay! See, like taking care of your mental space, your spiritual body before we get wrapped up in our day-to-day interactions, situations. I'm successful for working on my patch blanket. Yay! See, like pouring time into self. Like, take the activity out of it. What is the energy behind what you're doing? I tell people all the time, forward movement is forward movement. It does not matter what you're doing or how long it takes. Like if you need to clean your house, okay? Well, I'll get back to that. Put up a boundary with an X and stuck to it. Good for you. That's awesome. So that's very important. That's like you protecting your energy. I am worthy of protecting my energy is what I'm hearing from that. That's great. So let's say you need to clean your house, right? I've gotten stuck in this hole before where I'm like, well, I didn't do as much as I wanted to, right? So Abraham Hicks, I know a lot of people know who she is in here, and if not, you should definitely check her out. Abraham Hicks talks about if there is something and you leave it in a negative energy, that's where you'll pick it back up. So we'll use the house example. If we need to clean our house and we clean for like an hour, but you really wanted to clean for 5 hours, and that hour you're like done. You're just like, I'm over it. And then you start berating yourself and belittling yourself and saying like, well, you could have done so much more, right? That is not giving you fuel to do it again. And then when you think about cleaning your house, it gives you negative feelings because that's where you left it. But if you flip that and you say, I am a badass for cleaning my house for an hour, like, go me. Like, that was awesome. Even if it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, is that more than you did before or we're gonna do? Great. Celebrate the 5 or 10 minutes. Like, that keeps it up in the high vibration, high frequency. So when you come back to it, it's like, I feel very accomplished when I do this. You get the dopamine, you get the serotonin, and then you're like, I want to do it. Then you start training your brain and your subconscious like, oh, this gives us good feelings. This makes us feel great, right? I talk to a lot of my clients that are experiencing a lot of anxiety and depression because, and not just because of these reasons, like obviously there's other reasons, but when they think about doing things, it makes them feel icky and yucky, even though they're things that would help them, like take a shower, brush your teeth, clean your house, clean out your car, like all these things. And I'm like, well, what do you feel when you think about those things? And they're like, I feel yucky. And I'm like, okay, well, that's because we left it in that vibration and frequency. We need to do the activity, set a timer for 5 minutes. And then after you get done with that activity, you need to really celebrate yourself and say like, I am amazing for doing 5 minutes of that activity because that's more than I would have done. And oftentimes when you're already in it and you're making forward movement, like I have a porch area out on my deck here, and I for months put off cleaning it because it made me feel bad. It made me feel awful thinking about cleaning it. And I had to just overpower my brain and say, we're gonna do it for 10 minutes. I said, I'm gonna do it for 10 minutes. And then I started doing it. I was like, this feels really good. Like, I'm really happy that I'm spending this time on myself and my space. And I was like celebrating myself while I was doing it. And then I ended up cleaning for 2 hours, like just 2 hours straight. And then I celebrated myself even more. And I was like, good for you. You got up, you did it, you did the thing, and look at you now. Right? But we have to get up and make the forward movement, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, and then celebrate yourself for that. And then when you start doing that, it starts overlaying into different areas of your life. So maybe it's finances for you, or career, or hobbies, interests. If we can just make a little forward movement in some different areas of our life like that, it's starting to retrain your brain of like, okay, we feel very accomplished when we do things like this. And then you start seeking it out. It's like Pavloving yourself, if anybody is into like psychology, but like retraining your brain to seek out doing self-care activities or spending time on yourself. But you can't just do the activity. You have to back it up with, I love myself for doing this. Good for me, right? So there was a time, making my bed feels good. That's great, right? Taking care of self in your space. Like, that's awesome. Like, that should be celebrated, right? Okay, you said this is good. Okay, awesome. Yeah, ADHD, there's so many ways that you can manage, and I don't even say manage, let's say thrive with your ADHD. You have to perspective shift a lot of things around it, right? I need a new spin on what I view as chores. The word chores has a very negative connotation on it as well. So maybe we put in like self-love activities. What am I going to do for my self-love activities? Because those are forms of self-love. Like, you having clean laundry is an act of self-love. You having a clean sink is an act of self-love, right? My husband has been working on this with me. Make it a game. Yeah. Another tip for people that have ADHD is don't take your shoes off. When you're at home, don't take your shoes off. That is something that has helped me significantly. Is if my shoes are off, it means that I am sinking into the couch for the rest of the day. But if my shoes are on, that means that we're not doing that. The shoes off is big. Yeah, I know some people don't like to wear shoes in their house. Maybe get you some slippers or something, but it has really been like a game changer for me. Don't take the shoes off until you're done. Okay, it keeps you in the forward movement, right? Okay, let's see. Make nothing compulsive and make everything compassion, love. That helps me. I love that, Oriana. We're doing things with intention. If we're doing things with intention, it is soul healing. If you are doing your dishes and you're saying, I'm gonna do these dishes because this is an act of self-love and I'm gonna do it for 5 minutes, and you set a timer. Setting a timer is so vital. Like, if I have, hold on one second. I have to text somebody that is calling me. Call you in 5 minutes. Okay. Speaking of 5 minutes. Okay, if you have to, or set a timer, that's so important. If I'm meditating sometimes and I don't have a timer, because I have ADHD, my brain is just like not okay with having just a insurmountable amount of time. Okay, like I need something to let me know, like ding, right? So if you're setting a timer for your chores, like washing your dishes, not chores, act of self-love. That's what I'm gonna start calling them now. Okay, so if you're doing 5 minutes of washing the dishes and you're saying, I am doing this as an act of self-love, I'm doing it for future me, right? I'm doing an act of love for future me. Future me would love to come into a sink that is clean, right? And then when you are future you, it's very lovely coming, to a clean kitchen space. But doing it with intention. And saying, I am doing this as an act of self-love, and I'm doing it for my 5 minutes, and I'm doing it for future me. Yes, future me helps me. Yes, there have been times in the past where I have been like, future me can worry about that later. I'm still cleaning up areas of my life where I have said that in the past, right? Where I have said, well, future me will worry about it. there's a toll with that. Okay, and the more we think about future me and say, I'm gonna do this for future me, even if it's something that you're not super happy about, right? Present me loves future me. Yes, it's a present, a gift that you're giving to future you. Future you is your higher self too. Like that's you already building that connection and that love and that clear line of communication and that trust and that bonds with your higher self. Like you are showing up as your higher self. We have to really start thinking of our higher self like our best friends. How would we treat our best friends? Would you show up for them? Would you show them love? Would you do like kind acts for them, right? Kind of take your higher self out as you, okay? And imagine them as your best friends. How would you treat them, right? Okay, so I do have to, I was going to hop on for just a moment, but I do have to hop off now. Hopefully this little chat, or not little chat, hopefully this chat brought some new clarity or some new perspectives, especially like keep shoes on. That's the easy one. But acts of self-love. I love writing myself future me love letters. Does that count? Absolutely. I love that. What a good idea. I love writing myself future me love letters. That's incredible. And then when you become the higher self, you can look back and read those letters, and you have like a timeline of where your energy has shifted, like an actual, that's what I do with my content on here too. Like I can in real time see how showing up for myself has completely changed myself. Like it's a living, breathing journal. So if anybody would like some more tips on confidence and self-esteem, I have a free download up there in my bio. Is my favorite 10 tips, and they're spiritual and mindset tips, kind of like a combo. And so that's available. I am also in the middle of a 100 Days to Change Your Life challenge. Today is day 3. All of them are up on my channel every single day. I'm sharing a tip to help you shift into your higher version, your new identity, the one that you are in the most alignment with. And so, like I said, today's day 3. I just put it up. And then if anybody needs some more support with this, sometimes you need somebody to help hold you accountable to your self-love and working on your confidence, your self-esteem, helping you keep on track with your goals, the things that you want to work on. You can schedule a free complimentary call for my coaching program up in my bio up there. I would love to have a chat with you or help you get to the next stage of your journey. I'm loving the 100 days. Oh, good, Sammy. I'm glad you're on the journey too. You'll have to check out, today is day 3. Okay, and share yours. If you come on the journey, share your tips in the comments of the videos. I would love to integrate other people's experiences because we all live very different perspectives from one another. And so if you have something that, you know, has really helped you and changed you in your life, please share. We would all love to hear what that is. We all love tips and tricks, right? You're so welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today to this healing space. I appreciate you very much. Also, my friend Tracy and I are going to be hosting an inner child healing workshop this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be on my Instagram, Soulharmonymagic, same as here. We're going to be talking about what inner child healing is, why it's important, how to do it, and like practices, tips, and tricks. And then we're all going to play a fun game together. So we would absolutely love to have you there. Okay, I hope everybody has a wonderful, magical day, and I will see you next time. Bye.